For the first time in a week, there was no rain at all today. Yesterday was a flood water video. Up in the garden here, I showed you a bunch of deep water puddles, little streams running all around. And that'll be underneath the, once I get them sorted out, it'll be underneath the water management folder. I have no idea what that high-pitched noise was. I apologize. Hoping it was, not something dangerous. So I'm up here on the cliffside. We're looking at really high water on the river and a beautiful blue sky. We're just going to look at it here. And back down to the garden. They say we don't get these in Pittsburgh, but we do. They're not as rare as the haters would want you to believe. So yesterday, all of these were really deep with water, including this one especially, actually. And I did get this rebalanced. Whoa! I've got a new thing on the front of my camera, and I'm not used to keeping my finger out of the viewfinder anymore. I'm working on learning. So, all of it's seeped down into the ground, including my little place for the fern down there. We got a raspberry. Yum. That ground ends up a little. It must be some sort of animal, because it's the second time I heard that high-pitched noise. Not one I hear usually. Here you can see this pot was so underwater I actually fell in and had to hop over. There's a point in yesterday's video, which, if you want to look for it, will be underneath the water management folder once I get it stuck in there, where I took a step here and then I tripped and stumbled and said I fell in a hole. Well, you couldn't even tell that sunken pot was there. The water was another 2 inches above it. That's what happened. The paths and the garden were all underwater here, and it was slowly working its way down here. I rebalanced this, so it's no longer catching and going that way. It's going underneath this rock and down to the fern I just showed you. So, and I also added to the berm like I said I would. I added more clay to this berm to hopefully keep this making the turn. And I added a bit of a groove into the soil through here. As you can see, I think. A couple of little grooves to help, some of the slower water was there, and it needs to keep moving. And hopefully not slow down till it goes under this other new thing that I added, which is a gap under the edging to allow water to go into the asparagus here. And if it's not going to go that way, hopefully it'll go down here into this or into the orchard area and eventually the neighbor's garden. That's property line. The neighbor's got a more traditional garden going on over there. Starts looking scruffy eventually. He doesn't really like weed. And again, you know, there's very little space. This is a very urban setting. So, the most dramatic visuals in the garden, the other side, the baby's crying, so that's what you're hearing. I'm in a pretty tight little space here. You wouldn't be able to tell from walking around, would you? So, all of this that was puddling up. And then let's go take a look at the sump pump diverter, because it keeps running a lot longer than other things. Oh, look, I've actually got one. Freaking groundhogs are eating them all. Yeah, so this stays here a little bit more like a small pond. And then that's my sump pump let off. I've got stones here to keep it from eroding. And I've been, in the wintertime, when there's not as much growth, I've been getting back in there and deepening it. growth makes it a bit difficult. So that's what we're looking at here. Once I have these fruits harvested, I've got a succession home lined up for the predecessor to Jostaberry. I'll keep enough to put up in a pot, but that's about it, because it's just too invasive. It's sprawling. That I believe would be the proper term. So everything's going fine here. That's parsnip, which reseeds quite readily. Oh, and I mentioned in a recent video, not the flood video, that I wanted to add a whole bunch of bricks around these. So as you can see, that's at least gotten started. I still need to do the far end. The little digging critters like to get in and little dig. It's very annoying. I'm not a fan. So that's what we're looking at here. It's a beautiful day. Kiwi are doing really good too. Look at that. They're cute. Not a whole lot of progress on the tomatoes. We've got some verticillium wilt on the leaves here. So, should probably bring out some scissors and trim those. The basil that I was given, I didn't even have to water that in. Past these asparagus fronts that I threw here, there's a basil. There you go. But I still don't see any tomatoes on the tomato plants, which is odd, because I've seen more than a few little... Oh, here we go. Those will probably end up being the first ones. They're tiny still. So yeah, things are good. It is the solstice today, and I'm hoping that everyone is having a very, very good solstice. It's a beautiful day. I'm almost halfway through my permaculture certificate. It's going really well. So, I hope... Oh, remember this was full of water too. About 2 or 3 inches deep. So that also drains down in within the day. So at least being this high up has some advantages. The water pools pretty deep. It comes in quite the rush. But it drains away. It's not all that bad. So, yeah. This cliffside is a remains to be seen kind of moment. That's tough. Don't know what I'm going to do about all of it. So, yeah. Hope you're having a great day. Take care, and happy solstice. Bye.